I remember it like it was yesterday. Little me scrolling through YouTube, unaware of what he's about to witness. Just look at him. Like, what is this guy doing? There is no such thing as a portal leading to the sky? I can't believe I didn't think of that sooner. If there is a nether, there must be something like heaven. I launched vanilla Minecraft faster than Guido changing tires. My heart was beating faster with each block I placed. Visions of endless adventures filled my mind. Ether, here I come! That day, like many of us, I experienced one of the biggest disappointments of my Minecraft career.
It's very cool, baby.
But that's nothing compared to the biggest disappointments people feel at the end of their lives. But what could lead to such disappointments? Thanks to this woman, we know the answer. For years, she spoke to thousands of old and sick people who knew will die soon, asking them about any regrets they had or anything they would do differently if they could go back in time. They kept sharing regrets that sounded way too close to how I was living my life. It made me realize something had to change. I spent weeks crafting this video to ensure that by the time you finish watching it, you will understand how to avoid 5 most common regrets those people pointed out before it's too late. 5th most common regret is I wish I had let myself be happier. The first thing to understand is that happiness is not something you should chase, because happiness is a choice. And to prove that, we need to start from the beginning. The environment we start in our lives greatly influences how we initially look at situations that happen to us. For example, if you spawn in poor family, you will value something that people spawned in rich family take for granted. In life, we tend to look at situations as white or black, while in fact, all situations are fundamentally neutral, and you are the one giving it meaning. And yes, bad stuff happens even to the kindest people, but we can't control outside events. Matter of fact, you don't control anything except the one thing that actually matters most, and that is your ability to choose. And you are doing it each second, deciding what matters most to you, where to direct your energy, time. You decide what you believe is true, and you choose your attitude. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. The question is, why we often feel that we can't control our response? To explain that, you need to understand that our brain is divided into 2 parts. First, the subconscious. Think of it like farms we create since early game. Whatever you sow here will grow, because the soil does not care what you planted. Repeating behaviors and beliefs will be executed here automatically. Second, the conscious. Responsible for planning, reasoning, adjusting old one. It's like our character in the game. The subconscious brain follows basic instructions. Find water, food, shelter, company, and comfort. Avoid spending energy on stuff we believe we don't need to increase all the above. The first step to change is always noticing certain thinking patterns appearing while experiencing different situations. Once you see that you talk to yourself negatively, it's no longer a habit or a tendency. It becomes a choice. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. If you know you're believing in something, despite it not serving you, the real truth here is that it serves you really good in some way. If you really think about it, telling yourself, for example, that you can't grasp a given topic because you're just not smart enough gives immediate relief of having to put effort to learning this thing that you are capable of grasping, but requires from you energy, focus, and time. But your subconscious has no way of telling what future is, so it resorts to the only ways it knows worked in the past, to point you like a compass in direction it believes will benefit you the most at the present moment. That's why we often can choose to forget we can choose. It is your conscious brain's job to change outdated definitions of what is good for you. But these days we distract our conscious brain with too much information from the outside, and we spend most of energy thinking about what we could have done differently, or daydreaming about future. What's the solution? 2 things. First, meditation, which at first I thought had something to do with controlling your anger, and that it is something that takes years to master. But in reality, It is taking 5 minutes to sit quietly and noticing your thoughts. In meditation, you discover that your ego is nothing more than a combination of things you repeated to yourself over and over until it became what you think is real. Second, becoming grateful for what you already have. Your situation might feel bad, but as Charlie Chaplin said, life is a comedy in long view and a tragedy in close-up. And I could not agree more. Remember, in life you can be like fire, which by itself has no force and depends on its environment. Or you could be the one thing shaping environment and adapting.
Now water can flow or it can crash.
Speaking of crash, second regret is I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. When you close your eyes and calmly observe your thoughts, a strange question arises. Who is the one watching? In fact, you are like a person experiencing it, a true player behind a screen. When we play, we use keyboard and mouse to communicate clearly to our character where to go and what to do. But when it comes to our life, the only way we as observer can communicate is through feelings. Our emotions are like little lamps deep in our brain. They signal what we believe to be true about ourselves in any situation. They are positive if those beliefs align with what we want to be, and negative if they are not. Those beliefs stay hidden until we take a closer look at them, or life situations forces us to reflect on them. Here's the good news. If you have chosen your lifestyle even subconsciously, then it must be possible to choose it over again. How are you supposed to do that? When certain feelings arise, you have the opportunity to trace them back to what belief you must be holding on to generate those. So in order to do this well, you need to replace old belief with new ones, because we must believe in something. If you have a belief and you can't explain why you believe it, it's not yours. Keep digging, asking yourself simple why, until you get to the core belief. It is only when you hit the bedrock bottom, the only way it is up. If you, for example, feel the need to watch porn, it might suggest that you believe you have nothing better to do on top of believing you are unworthy of being loved. So you need to stop yourself for a second and think, how does that belief benefit you? Remember, your mind is always motivated by something and makes you think that alternative would be worst. The stronger the fear to change gets, that's when you know you're closest to changing. Sometimes actions we choose aim to avoid interpersonal relationships due to the fact that they come with discomfort of being judged. So we start to seek recognition.
I think it's a real weakness to want to be liked.
At the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you need to push through interior fear. Because as humans, we simply are a multiplayer creatures. And that's why the third most common regret of dying people is I wish I had stayed in touch with my old friends. Anyone who had their 2-week phase with friends will always choose that over playing solo. Every joy and sadness we feel comes with interacting with other people. Now imagine everyone disappearing. Sure, 99% of your problems would vanish, but you would go insane. The new skin you set or new house you've built, it's mostly cool because you get to show it to someone. As we grow older, we start to see the world differently. There are bills to pay, goals to chase, and topics we are interested in. It's natural that to get to the end, we start to look for guidance, buy courses, seek mentors. It's important to be learning something every day, because you can craft only with what's in your equipment. Thanks to advices from our mentors and values we adopt, we are able to leap forward in life faster than trying to figure it out all by ourselves. And we learn to take risks, because we know roughly where we aim, but we never know exactly where life will lead us. In the process, we distance ourselves and forget to find the time for the people who have been with us since the beginning. Often, the day a blind man sees, the first thing he throws away is the stick that helped him his whole life. Or in our case, wooden pickaxe. The same idea applies to your parents.
Greatest thing we can do in life is find the power to forgive.
Even if they are ignorant of the way they live. When a spider bites you, you don't waste time chasing the spider. Focus on removing the poison.
Which is more important, the journey or the destination? And the other replied, it's the company.
Minecraft taught us that you can own a world and still be alone. Find a moment to do something for others. All truly strong people are kind. These days, feeling of loneliness, people want to cover with buying things, career, or food. And that's how we reach second most common disappointment. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. In life of every man comes a time when a turtle must leave his nest, I guess. But when exactly do we become an adult? Do we magically wake up one day and...
It's time for me to start a family and acquire generational wealth.
As we grow, we quickly learn that there are two types of laws. There are universal laws like gravity that we must obey. And then there are human-made rules. For example, in most countries, we become adults by turning 18. And it unlocks features like buying alcohol, rebel against school, and by the time we end working whole summer in warehouse, we have enough money to buy ourselves our first collection of atoms that enables us to get from point A to B faster. Does that settle it? Are we now mature? Hell nah. You might not have 7 lives like cats do, but you certainly have 2. And the second one begins when you realize you only have 1 and that no one is going to save you. And you need to take responsibility for building the life you want for you and the people you love. Minecraft really taught us that you have to go through hell to reach the end. As Charles Bukowski wrote, find what you love and let it kill you. Ultimately, you should be looking for the fortress, a place when you can work at something that actually matters to you. This type of work gives us sense of accomplishment. And combining this sense with wisdom we acquire from great minds will guide us through life automatically. For many, work feels like a painful means to survive. But same people who feel this way totally forget why we go to the job in the first place. And it should never be to impress other people with the things that money can buy. If you follow this path, it will lead you to most common regret people experience. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. In life, same as in Minecraft, we can be in 4 different modes. Let's go over the ones we don't want to be in first. Hardcore. It's like a stress mode. You constantly worry in the back of your mind. Early in life, you discover that if you do a certain things, you will be liked and get what you want more often. Those actions continue in your adult life. You think you need to be good at everything, and you hide what you did wrong. You are making assumptions and expect certain results. If I don't offend anyone, I will have easy life. It's like starting a game and never do the things that actually make the game exciting. And it is not even that you are so scared of dying, but of losing all the time you put into getting items you have already. Yet we are who we are because of problems we encounter and how we handle them. Peaceful, the comfort zone. Most people think they want to be in this mode, but in reality, it kills ability to think clearly, and it kills our ambitions. On peaceful mode, sure, you can't die from mobs and you can't die from hunger. Same way, by isolating yourself from people and constantly eating your emotions, you might think you're living a peaceful life. But let's be honest, at the end of the day, you feel empty inside. Comfort is the worst addiction. Creative mode is the real cheat code to life. You enter this mode when you know what your passions are and you act on them at any moment with highest energy possible. People don't have the patience to work on their business for 4 years, but they can work for someone for 40. Everything you see around you was built by people no smarter than you. Those people were just more excited. Try changing why do I have to do this to how exciting I have the opportunity to test myself. Discomfort is the mode we should strive to play on most of the time. We are not looking to run away to distractions. Neither we should be too concerned with expectations and opinions of others. So when people say, I don't know what I want, they really think, I don't know how to get what I want. And sometimes, even if they decide and start doing what they love, they can't immediately see results, so they turn back to old ways. People give up right before they get it. How long will you let yourself be locked in the prison of your emotions? Instead of telling yourself that living life you want is difficult, try asking questions about how you want your life to really look like and deciding to pay the price of discomfort by taking actions which slowly but surely move you to becoming what you imagined. The best part is life changes to easy mode on itself as we are getting better gear. Simply by understanding ourselves, we are able to understand others. My brother, anticipate that after watching this video, you will be tempted again by peaceful mode. And when that feeling comes, just say to yourself, this is what I trained for. I stand my ground with pride. That not in some prophesized future, but right now, I am choosing to be the kind of person who is not a slave to his impulses. We don't choose where we spawn, but we definitely decide where we end up. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did. You never know a value of a moment until it becomes a memory. And remember, you are the greatest project you will ever work on. So have the courage.